Well, I think all of us as human beings have both, and they are coexisting. We can be only, a strength without sensitive, no? Sensitive is because our sensorial way of living, about what we hear, what we see, what we touch, no? The body is also important and feel us in an emotional way. Some of the most deep feelings I realized by doing this film, they are even impossible to describe in words in an intellectual way. If you try to understand why you are doing something, maybe you can put in words, but you are doing in the deepest part of your heart, What I understand of this film that for me is like, there are two sides of a coin, you can exist without the other part, you are part of the same, is things maybe you can achieve for you, because maybe you decide, to commit suicide. You can do it for the person you love most, and is even more vulnerable than you. That is why we are human instead, why we are not an artificial intelligence that can analyze things with only logical stuff. We are full emotional. We are few irregular also. And for me, that is the movement. We need to move. You can ask why I'm doing like passive in a seat looking at the other. But because from the beginning, I think cinema is about movement, and you need to move in your life. Getting other times time, because time is not equal, is not objective, and when you are vulnerable, your time is more urgency. It's like a big countdown. You can rush, but you are never on time. It's like this rock about Sisyphus that you have to carry to the top one and again and again and again. So when you share that kind of time, your life is moving. You are sitting, but your life is moving. And I think it's about, we all are human. We all have pain and could be painful sometimes. So if we understand that in a more emotional way, maybe we can share better. I think now it's hard to share. And I think cinema is first of all about share, I decided to do this film 5 years after living with them. I love to read these books. Most of them are my best friend in a kind of way, because they reveal me things about people that maybe now are dead, but are feeling things that for me are moving. And I love also to travel by my own. I think these two things match very good together, because when you feel emotional about read some good chapter, then you feel okay about talking with some stranger people, and you are a stranger also for him or for her. So one day I was thirsty. One woman, very gentle, share not only a glass of water, share a cup of coffee that is very expensive thing now in Cuba. And this woman, of course, was Mercedes. And I realized that evening, 10 years ago, that we were sharing the same, or solitude. We were feeling very alone that evening, and we have this chemistry about talking because we don't want to be alone, no? So I think the reason that this coffee was not only a coffee and becomes in a relationship was because of Danish, the child, because he is autistic, so he is very territorial, and if you are in his home and he doesn't allow you to be there, he will put you out, no? He comes to me and he hugged me. And when he hugged me, the mother says, wow, this is strange. It's not frequent. So can you stand there with Danish, and I could go outside and research the cold and take some medicines for my husband? And I said, okay, wow, it's a big stuff, because I don't know if I was 23 years old then, and I don't know. But she goes outside, she come back very late, so I have to rest that night with them. And then I start to realize that this woman was suffering a lot, day by day and in secret. And I was asking why she's suffering a lot. I know it's about his husband, but her husband, sorry, but I don't understand why the husband never comes by the hour he set. When Landy came, I asked why he was late. I said, man, sorry talking to that, but now we are alone. I want to say you that your woman, and she's suffering a lot, real pain, you know, day by day. Why are you not coming at the hour? And he said, well, I'm doing my best, brother. If you want, someday you can come with me and I can share with you what I'm doing. And I say, wow, it will be a privilege. And then when I start to go with him, I understand everything. And I understand some cinematic thing for me, that it's all your actions, all you are doing is not in that space, it's somewhere outside, out of screen. So for me, that two parts are looking each other like a mirror. And the strength of this part is not in this part, are there, you know. In the movie, I realized in the edition that there are two looks at the camera. One is from the father in the most dangerous sequence, when he's hunting the crocodile and the situation is not under control at all. And he's caring about me, about myself, because he is not protecting me anymore. But then is the child look in the beach, when also the characters have the water here and he were playing. You realize that Dennis was waiting a lot for that time, because he looks at me, I'm like his old brother, and says with the eyes like, "Qué rico, what a joy to be here playing crocodiles with my dad," no? So you understand that scary look about death is also because that look of joy exists. So I think life is answering us some path to walk, and it's about us if you decide to walk or not. Well, I don't know if you can get used to be always risking your life. I don't know. I only know when you are so vulnerable that you are forgot for everyone, and you are in a situation that also a beloved one is most vulnerable than you, then is your strength to move. And when you have no time, you also don't have time to think. You don't have time to decide anything. You are poor, you know, and poor is painful, you know. It's painful because you are a slave of time, you know. You don't have time. Time doesn't belong to you. I don't know if you can get used to that. About me, I think we filmmakers are very lucky get some intimacy of life, but we must also understand that we need to be coherent about what we decide to do. Nobody put me a weapon in my face to do this film. So first of all, what I need is time to understand, no matter what. And then I need coherence in the conditions I live, in the conditions I shoot, in the conditions I share my time with Landy. And of course, that conditions means risk. But I repeat, nobody put me a weapon. I am a privileged people, not like Landy. So I need to show some respect if I decide in my privilege to do that, you know? So fuck off risk. Maybe it's difficult to say. In 2021, not only this pandemic stuff hit us very tough, also because this area in the Ciénaga were very attacked by this virus, but also the full country start to claim for some freedom. We claim for freedom, and we have only repression as an answer. So was all these disturbs along the country, and also this uncertain what could be the future in the country. I don't want to talk about this, but I realized that maybe my last days with this family could be arriving. It not depends on me, it not depends on that family that is also my family. It depends of that you have no control about. I am a filmmaker. I need to record to remember. And I was very fearing about go out of my beloved ones and didn't have the choice to remember them. So I started to have this conversation with them and said, do you mind if I film here? Because things are like that and I can't control anymore that situation. So in 2001, in 1 month and a half, I filmed everything. I decided to live in coherence that what put a camera in the middle of us means. Like I tell to them, they are not actors. I wasn't even a filmmaker because it was my first feature film. We love each other, but if a camera is something aggressive that we can control, because all of us change our behavior when we have a camera, we have to take this habit to live in the same way where we are filming, that all the time, that is the most of the time that we are not filming, and even if we need to talk, I especially need to talk, because Landy maybe is getting used to be alone in the jungle, for example, but not me. But we have to be together, loving each other, step to step, but in silence. So that gives me the privilege to see more deep, to hear more deep, to be together not by word, by facts, by actions. And you know, we are habit animals. I'm very clear that you this morning put the sock in the same feed like yesterday and the day before. So we have habits. When you understand the habits of someone, you don't need to talk with him or with her. The point of view is very clear, and you have to be loyal to that point of view. So for me, that life live in a cycle, very painful cycle, like Sisyphus rock, but then you have a structure. And if you are loyal to this structure, maybe you do a film, you know, I don't know.